You don't pick your horse in Red Dead Redemption 2 the way you pick a weapon. You don't check stats or compare damage drop-off. You just feel it. You find one, or tame one, or maybe you just stick with the first horse the game gives you. And before you even realise it, that horse's name is burned into your memory. You start brushing it without thinking. You whistle for it without looking. You slow your pace so it stays close. It's just a horse. But somehow, it becomes the part of the game you trust the most. At first, your horse is just a means to an end. It gets you from town to town, from shootout to shootout. But Red Dead doesn't treat your horse like a vehicle. It treats it like a companion. It reacts to the world. It fears predators. It flinches at gunfire. And it remembers how you treat it. Bonding levels rise quietly. Rewards come subtly. You don't level up your horse with a skill tree. You do it with care.
I ain't gonna do nothing you don't want me to.
And over time, that care becomes habit. And the habit becomes attachment. You start turning around after a fight just to make sure it's okay. You slow down in storms. You stop by the river to let it drink, even if the game doesn't ask you to. It's not about progress anymore. It's about presence, the silent understanding between two beings traveling the same dirt road. Your horse becomes more than transportation. It becomes a mirror. The one you choose, or the one you stay with, says something about how you play. Maybe you picked the fastest one, or the strongest. Maybe you never cared about stats at all. You saved for a white Arabian and rode it like a trophy. Sleek, expensive, but fragile. For some, it felt like the right answer, a decision that said, I know what I'm doing. Maybe you chose it because someone told you it's the best horse, like picking it meant you were playing the game right. Or you stuck with the Tennessee Walker, the default, not impressive on paper, but familiar, comfortable. You weren't chasing perfection, just consistency. Then there are the Mustangs, wild, unpolished. You didn't buy one, you earned it, caught it, tamed it. Some players ride Mustangs because they want the journey, not the outcome. And if you rode a Shire, maybe you weren't in a hurry. Maybe you just liked how it looked, how it moved, heavy, unbothered. It wasn't built for the world, but you made space for it anyway. Each choice says something about how fast you want to move, about how much you value loyalty or beauty or freedom, about whether you care what the game says is best or what you decide is worth keeping. But it's not just the horse you pick, it's how you ride. Do you push hard through the trees or ride slow along the waterline? Do you pause to let it catch its breath after a hard sprint or keep pushing? Do you keep it clean, feed it well, or let it stay rough and muddy because you're always moving? Some players armor up their horse with the best gear, others ride bare, no saddlebags, no extras, just skin and leather. Every small decision you make with that horse becomes part of your rhythm and part of your identity. And then sometimes you lose it. Ambushed by O'Driscolls, caught in a bear attack, a fall off a cliff you didn't see coming. You hear the scream, the thud, the silence, and it hits harder than it should. You reload or you don't. Sometimes reloading feels like cheating. Other times it feels like mercy. Because Red Dead does something most games don't. It doesn't protect your horse, it lets you care, and then sometimes it lets you grieve. You crouch beside it, the sound of wind and hoofbeats fades. You sit in that stillness longer than you need to. It's just a game, but somehow it doesn't feel like just anything in that moment. And then, maybe hours later, or maybe right near the end, it happens again. Not by accident, not because you messed up, but because the story decides it's time. Your horse is shot, you fall, and you don't get back up right away. Arthur leans down, hand on its neck. The world slows. He whispers, one word, thank you.
Thank you. Arthur!
No music swells, no mechanic kicks in. The game just stops. And in that pause, everything you've carried, the rides, the care, the miles, gets pulled into a single, quiet goodbye. Not every player sees this moment coming, but every player who gets there feels it. And somehow, it says everything. The game never tells you your horse matters. There's no story cutscene about it, no dramatic moment that forces it, but the design nudges you, slowly, quietly, toward connection. There's a reason you whistle when you're scared, a reason you ride until your horse is coated in mud and sweat, a reason you stop sometimes, on a ridge just to look at the world, your horse standing quietly behind you. It's not just a bond, it's trust. The trust that, even in a world full of betrayal, there's one thing that never lets you down. The game notices how you ride. and so does the world around you. NPCs make comments on your horse's breed, on how clean it looks, on how it fits you. You're not customizing a car here, you're crafting a presence. A black Arabian isn't just fast, it draws eyes in St. Denis. A muddy draft horse might get second looks in Valentine. It's subtle, but it's there. The social mirror of the world. Your horse becomes part of your image. A reflection, not just of how you play, but how you want to be seen. There's always one ride that stays with you. Maybe you don't remember where you were going, but you remember how it felt. The light was just right. The world was quiet. No enemies, no destination. Just movement. Just the rhythm of hooves and the sound of breath. Just you and the only part of this game that never asked anything from you but trust. And in that ride, you weren't an outlaw. You weren't a gunslinger. You were just there. Alive in a world that for once wasn't asking you to fight. So what does your horse say about you? Not in stats, not in breed, but maybe in the kind of rider you became. Cautious, bold, patient, restless. Red Dead Redemption 2 gives you a vast, violent playground. But in the quiet moments, when the dust settles, it leaves you with something else. A bond you made for no reason other than you felt it was right. And maybe that says more about you than anything else. You named it, you fed it, you lost it. The game never asked you to care, but you did anyway.